You dudes, Warren here. We are in the middle of a bye week as the Detroit Lions and the fans are at that point, which is like halfway-ish around the season. Thank you, NFL, for that, as well as the trade deadline passing. So I felt this was deserving of a video, just to kind of see how things are going, halfway through. And yeah, this is just hopefully will be a quick and random video about Detroit Lions stuff in general. Just my thoughts and opinions. The trade deadline came and passed, and it's kind of funny. I remember in one of my earliest streams, I was talking about an article that talked about wide receivers that could be on the trade market, and I was looking into that because it was rumored that the Lions might trade for Mike Evans, and then they listed some other receivers, like some of the ones that Cincinnati might Bengals might trade because they couldn't afford them because of Joe Burrow's contract extension. And then the one that the Cleveland Browns traded to us, Peoples Jones, was on that list. And so that means I was not surprised when the Lions did wind up trading for that particular receiver and Peoples Jones. And I think hopefully he does what he's supposed to do with the Lions. And I think he should be able to help complete the Lions, offense overall now that Marvin Jones is not on the team anymore. Do I think Peoples Jones is going to take over for Jameson Williams? Absolutely not. The way I look at it is this: to have a good wide receiving core for a good offense for a good team. You basically need somebody who can. Three types of wide receivers you need. You need one that'll be a good red zone target. You need one that's fast and good route running and good at the route tree and all that. And then you need one that's good at big-bodied receiver that's good at contested catches situations. And now I think the Lions have all of that. Like in some version of your X receiver, wide receiver, slot receiver, and tight end, any combination of those. You need those three types of wide receivers. And we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's just, all around perfect as a slot receiver. And then we have, Jameson Williams, who is the speedy route running threat. And now we got Peoples Jones, who's should serve that to big body contested roles. So the way I see it, the wide receiver core, if everything goes the way it's supposed to be, is complete with that there. So, and those players will hopefully definitely force defenses to not always blitz all the time because they have to consider covering them. So hopefully they do their job there, and then maybe take some of the pressure off of St. Brown and Sam Laporta getting the receptions all the time. Not to complain about it because obviously it's working, and the Lions have one of the best offenses in the NFL because of it, as well as the rushing attack and everything with Montgomery when he's healthy, as well as Jahmyr Gibbs now that it looks like he's on track. So just kind of what I thought about that trade. And yeah, maybe a cornerback would have been nice, or an edge rusher. I know I think the one other one I probably would have been content with was Sweat if he got traded there at the right price. But like I said in the last video, the opposing teams knew that that would probably be a big need for them, and they'd try to that they would want to trade for them, which means they knew that they could drive the price high and then have the leverage there, which is what happened with the Chicago Bears when they traded a second round pick for Sweat. And that wouldn't make sense for the Detroit Lions to do at all. And especially since now that the Bears extended Sweat to like a 4-year, 90+ million contract, So I think it's smart that the Lions didn't do what the Bears wound up doing there, especially since the Bears are the Bears are not competing this year, yet they traded one of their higher draft round picks for this particular player. So we'll see if the gamble pays off for them, whether or not it does. And then, we're in a bye week. It's halfway. The Lions players are resting. They're doing things to take their minds off the game while, practicing and, getting better at the things that they need to do. And the players that are injured are getting healthier and healthier. So hopefully we see players like Montgomery back soon, Jonah Jackson. Hopefully their health is making progress. And overall, I'm fairly I think I'm pretty satisfied with where the Lions are right now. Everything is pretty much going as we had planned so far, and a lot like how I predicted. My concern, though, is the injuries, especially with the interior offensive linemen as well as the secondary. So obviously, like Mosley's out for the year. Formerly known as C.S. Gardner Johnson, I forgot what his name is now. He's been out for the year, although he might come back for the playoffs when we get there. And I'm just hoping. I know Vitai's back, but we are hoping for consistency with him. And then Jonah Jackson, and then Frank Ragnow is always going to have the toe thing that's always going to pop up on the injury report. But it's a good way for Sorsdale to the rookie to kind of develop and get some practice, get a little bit of experience. He probably won't be that good this year, but 2 years from now, 3 years from now, he could really develop into a depth piece in one or more spots in the offensive line. So that's the type of thing you hope for there. And Broderick Martin finally got to see a little bit of playing time in the last game from what I've seen. I didn't notice him on the field, but that's what I heard anyway. And he could be definitely a solid interior piece, which then could free up Aleem McNeil to, do more three techniques things, and then hopefully maybe do some Aaron Donald type of things there. And like I say, I think the Lions are on track and on progress. Their offense is one of the best in the league, and I think the Lions planned on that. They plan on winning with their offense, and that's exactly what they're doing. They got their offensive line it'll be able to help their rushing game, their running game, and that helps set up their play action pass, which then they're able to take advantage of the confused linebackers and then pass up the middle to St. Brown, their bread and butter cross play, and then Laporta's slant routes and that sort of thing. And then let me show you what I mean here with some PFF grades here. So several players, for those of you who aren't familiar with PFF grades, grade of 70 to 79 is above average. 80 to 89 is pretty good. And then 90 is like elite. So a lot of these players have offensive players are above 70, which means a lot of them are doing a lot of good things there, especially Jared Goff. He's based on that 88.3, he's borderline elite. So St. Brown is really good there, up at 83.6 for offensive, PFF grade. Penei Sewell's up there. Penei Sewell ranks fourth among the tackles with that grade, just as Goff ranks fourth among quarterbacks for his grade. So that tells you Goff, based on that stat, Goff is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. St. Brown ranks 11th for wide receivers with his grade. Craig Reynolds is up there. He hasn't played a lot, but when he does, he's apparently doing enough, especially with the running game. So fifth among running backs there. Frank Ragnow is third for centers, 77.5. Taylor Decker is 17th out of tackles with 75-ish. And then, things like that. Graham Glasnow is also in the mix there for the interior offensive lineman too. And, Jahmyr Gibbs is up there 13th with a 73 score, and Sam Laporta is 8th among tight ends with his score 72.7. So, take all that for what it's worth. And, long story short, a lot of offensive players are doing a very good job, and it's really showing. And then as far as defense goes, there's a couple of players who are doing really well. So obviously you'd expect Aiden Hutchinson, he's ranked 8th and among his position, overall defense 90 with a pass rush of 89.3. He's not one of the league leaders in sacks, and he has 4.5. You'd hope to see more from him, but he's one of the leaders in pressures, which is, forcing the quarterback to have to move around to make their throws and, complete that sort of stuff. So, Hutch is doing his job to the best he can. So it's really more the supporting cast. I don't want to say supporting cast, but the whole his whole unit in general. Hopefully they can step up. Specifically, Josh Pascal. I know he's been injured, but when he gets back, I believe he was drafted. One of the main reasons he was drafted was, as an edge rusher, helping to stop the run. So I'd like to see Pascal improve in that category from his, what is his 67.9, so a little bit. And not to take away from the Lions run defense in general, because with the traditional stats, they've proven that they are one of the top leaders in the whole league in run defense, and they made it they prioritized improving that in the offseason because they had struggled with that last couple of years, and now they have, and it's really helped their defense complement their offense quite well. You see Lee McNeil is up there. He's 84.6, which is also eighth among his position of a defensive lineman, and he's really stepping up, and I knew he would be too, so he's doing his part there. Brian Branch is up there, 77.5, but especially 82, which is really good for run defense. Not bad for a slot corner, so he's helping out there. Jack Campbell is not anywhere on the top of this list when I did it, but I watched a video of Campbell's performance on Saturday morning inspection YouTube channel, and he's doing everything a good linebacker should be doing. So take that for what it's worth there. So, and then Tracy Walker is up there, 84.4 in pass rush. So I guess whenever he's, blitzing or whatever it is, then he's doing his part there. And I know Jerry Jacobs is one of the league leaders in interceptions, even though his grade is 65.7. But, that's actually pretty good for what you can expect with Jacobs, because he's supposed to be a depth piece in the secondary, but he's, had to start because, some of the other secondary players have been injured. So we have to rely on Jacobs, and he's remaining consistent for us there. So it's pretty much what I wanted to kind of go over. So overall, they're doing great. The offense is great. Couldn't ask for a better job on offense. Maybe some health with the interior offensive lineman, because Goff does have double-digit sacks so far in this season, which I don't think you would have expected with that. But, players like Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker have given up very few sacks, if any at all. So they deserve props for that as well. And then, defense, you'd like to see the pass rush from some more edge rushers improve and increase however possible, or at the very least, help them open up the holes and, the confusing schemes so that the linebackers can blitz, because we know that AG likes to do that, Aaron Glenn. But Aaron Glenn, with his scheming and performances, he'll have that game against Baltimore where he turns out he's like Commissioner Gordon from the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, where he'll make an aggressive move and then his opponent will counter that with an even better move, and then it'll backfire on Commissioner Gordon. So if you've seen those movies, you know what I'm talking about. Getting outsmarted that way. But overall, I think Lynn has done a good job. He got a game ball again, which he gave away to two other people in that last game. So he could very well be a head coach next season. I think he's done a good enough. He'll do good enough job to may possibly get a job somewhere. Just like we know Ben Johnson will almost definitely get head coaching offers in the off season. So because Ben Johnson continues to do a good job overall there. So we got the Chargers coming up. There isn't really too many difficult opponents except for the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe the Chargers could be a little bit of a headache, and there might be a trap game, and we might lose to Chicago with one of these games or something like that, God forbid. But I predicted the Lions would go 14-3, and I think if you go back and watch my initial video of that, and I think we might very well be heading in that direction. So unless there's more injuries, then hopefully there's not. Then yeah, I can't say any more than that. Lions are good this year, and it's been very fun to watch. So I'll see you guys when we play the Chargers in a week or so. But take this time to get some rest. Go outside, enjoy the fall, read a book, and then just wait for the Lions to come back because we're enjoying a bye week with no stress. And until then, go Lions, one pride.